Chicago closed 50 black schools in 2013 because Rahm Emanuel said the city was broke. 10 years later, Mayor Brandon Johnston found $638 million for migrants in 18 months. Same city, same broke budget, different priority. That's not a coincidence. That's a replacement. And tonight, I'm naming names. Brandon Johnston in Chicago. Eric Adams in New York. Mike Johnston in Denver. 3 Democrat mayors. 3 sanctuary cities. 1 identical playbook. And Black America is the target. Here's the fire I want you to feel. The same politicians who knelt in kente cloth in 2020, who cried on camera about George Floyd, who begged for your vote. They just handed your school, your rec center, your gymnasium, your tax dollars to people who arrived last Tuesday. You were the base. Now you're the collateral. Let's start in Chicago, because Brandon Johnston's betrayal is the loudest. 2013, 50 public schools shuttered. Almost every single one in a Black neighborhood. The reason? No money. 2022 to 2024, Illinois pours over $2.5 billion into migrant care. The state spends $1.6 billion on migrant health care alone by mid-2024, blowing past every prediction. April 2024, the Chicago City Council narrowly approves another $70 million for migrant aid. Alderwoman Emma Mitz said it out loud. I'll be doggone. I don't see the Black folks getting that kind of help. She said what you've been screaming for 2 years. And here's the knife twist. Wadsworth Elementary. Closed in 2013 because Black kids weren't worth the investment. Reopened in 2023 as a migrant shelter. The same building, the same doors, different children, different priority, different skin. That's not policy. That's a message. Now fly to New York. Eric Adams. Same script. Fiscal year 2024, $3.75 billion spent on asylum seekers. Billions more planned. And when the bills came due, Adams proposed slashing after-school programs, youth summer jobs, and library hours. The exact programs holding Black and brown kids together in Brooklyn, Harlem, and the Bronx. Public outcry rolled some cuts back. But you saw what was first on the chopping block. You saw who was expendable. Meanwhile, the Roosevelt Hotel, a Manhattan landmark, becomes a migrant intake center. Try getting a housing voucher as a Black grandmother in East New York. They'll tell you the wait list is closed. They found rooms for 170,000 new arrivals. They can't find one for you. Denver, Mayor Mike Johnston. Early 2024, the city projects $180 million to handle migrants, later revised to about $90 million. To pay for it, Johnston slashed hours at recreation centers in Black and Latino neighborhoods, cut DMV days, reduced budgets for police and fire. 5 points. Denver's historic Black neighborhood, once called the Harlem of the West, has been gentrified into a ghost of itself. Black population in Denver has dropped from 12% to under 9%. And now, the rec centers where the elders play dominoes get their hours cut so the city can house new arrivals in hotels. They're not just moving you out. They're erasing that you were ever there. Let's talk about what erasure actually means, because I don't mean it soft. Erasure means the Bronzeville jazz clubs turned into luxury condos. Erasure means Harlem going from 98% Black in 1950 to under 40% today. Erasure means Detroit's Black population dropping by over 200,000 since 2000. Erasure means Washington, D.C., once Chocolate City, losing its Black majority in 2011. Now stack sanctuary spending on top of that. Billions for newcomers. Pennies for the descendants of the people who built these cities, brick by brick, with hands still scarred from Jim Crow. This is the math they don't want you to do. Diluted vote, depressed wages, displaced housing, defunded schools. All while being told to smile because it's compassionate. Compassion for who? Not for the veteran sleeping on Michigan Avenue. Not for the CHA resident waiting 11 years for a repair. Not for the Southside mother whose son's school became a shelter overnight. The Congressional Black Caucus stays quiet. Al Sharpton stays quiet. The same voices that shook the rafters for reparations can't find the microphone for this. Because this isn't about immigration. This is about the political liquidation of Black America. It's about replacing a voting bloc that got too demanding with one that will be grateful for scraps. So remember the names: Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams, Mike Johnston, and every alderman, every council member, every congressman who voted yes while your community got told no for the 50th year in a row. I'll land my plane right there. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe for more real talk. Stay rooted, stay awake. I'm Janet Caldwell, and we'll catch you next time.